Well, welcome guys to another little tutorial today. And today's lesson will be in asset bundles. Okay? And if you don't know what asset bundles are, they are what Unity uses for downloadable content. You can use a WW class and a variety of other things. And they're like streamable content, okay? You can actually use it from a file like resource.loading or load from memory, or you can use a combination of both. You can actually have the asset bundle be downloaded onto the person's device, okay, and then cached, okay, and this cache can be for a variety of things like um, you can put a little bit of everything in them, but they cannot be scripts. Okay. So any art pack that you have, this can be a bundle. This can be a bundle. This can be a bundle. And all of it can be a bundle. And the beautiful thing about it is, if you put these in streamable assets, you can have all these little files right here in asset bundle. Okay. So basically, I can make these an asset bundle as well. And what will happen is they will be unreadable to the editor and stuff like that because they put it into a bundle thing so Unity can read them. Now to build an asset bundle, it's very easy. You can come down here and you'll see this little label, the little window like we always have up. Let's see if I can get a game object, just a regular game object. Okay, this little window, like you've always seen right here, that I'm in big in. This is the window that you'll be using for bundles. Okay, and you go up to asset bundle. Now you can put these in groups, okay, or you can put none or vice versa. But I put this into bullets because I plan on every bullet that I have, I will use an asset bundle for. Okay, and the cool thing about asset bundling is you can use a string to get the asset bundle and then get a variety of game objects in there. Now, there's a thing about it that I like and don't like. I do like that it comes in an array style and not a list or something else. Because if you're using bundles, I feel that you would be using arrays more because they're cheaper and you're not going to be resizing the array. So there's no reason for you to want to even mess with it. Okay. But the thing about it is, I want to use this as a cache. Now, you can download the asset bundle and then it's in your memory like all the time unless you do an asset bundle unload. And what I mean by that is you'd be like, hey, you got everything you want. Now you'll go asset or whatever you named your asset dot unload, and it will unload everything from the asset bundle. Okay, and it's a function call. Well, it should be. Okay, dot unload. Oh, it passes a bool. Okay, and this will be true. Okay, so it'll unload it. I mean, I really don't have the I don't care about it. But the thing is, if I were in a shooting game and I know I only have like what, maybe 6 bullets that I use, the real good thing about it, asset bundles will allow you to leave scripts on your bundled up game objects. It doesn't care that it's attached. You don't have to reattach it or nothing like that. But the model information and stuff, as long as you don't change scripts and stuff, it will be perfectly fine. Like this bullet, we can put 5 different models in it. It doesn't care. Or the really cool thing is, okay, is, and this is the reason why I went over all those XML files and stuff like that, is in our XML file, like me or tower or vice versa or whatever, we can, instead of using a resource.load and then we load a prefab, we can have a game object from an asset bundle. So we can basically, when we want an asset bundle thing out of it, we'll make probably a global variable for the asset bundle, right? So this would be like some, let's say, I don't know, a static, or we do a static singleton or whatever. Well, since we have a reference to this, we got an array of list of game objects. Well, down here in another script, we could probably go public game object me, and this will automatically just return game object, or vice versa. No, actually it wouldn't be that. It'd be game object, and then it'd be me. Whatever. But it could also be, we could have a global thing from our object pooler, like, hey, we know it's going to be bullets, so let's go in here. Let's make us another. No, actually, we wouldn't make us. We could. We could make us another dictionary and then make a feature where instead of a game object that we want to spawn, or we could put another parameter in here that goes string. And this default to null. Okay. It has to be name equals null. Okay. And it has to be at the end for you to explicitly go null like that. Okay. But we have this other parameter here, and maybe we want this well, we would have to go null here too. Yeah. Well, anyway, if this string is null, we can have it do this functionality or whatever. But if it's not null, we can have it ignore this. Okay, ignore like all this glarky stuff here, whatever you want to call it. And we can have it add it to our dictionary and do a pool spawner and then go and spawn it. So instead of a game object we would pass a string, or we'd have the opportunity to do this. Kind of like a switch in a way. That's basically what we would do. And because of bullets and we know we're going to spawn a bunch, we definitely want a pooler for it. So we can, save memory. But in the asset bundle, it's got an internal array. Well, you could do that. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. But I've been wrapping my head around this all morning, so so this asset name, okay, and this is very important. Don't try to just do asset bundle right here. You'll see asset bundles right here, and it's the main thing, and you're like, oh, that's contains all of our asset bundles. Okay, which, be honest with you, I tried to pull assets out of it and everything else, didn't work. But if I go down here and put bullets in, it will grab us game objects and do all that cool stuff. So, and the really stupid thing is that I hate is you cannot just drag this into the inspector. Okay, it doesn't work. For asset bundles, drag it into the inspector, it won't work. The only reason I have this here is to make sure that I'm grabbing a bundle. Debugging purposes, straight up, that's all it is. If it wasn't for that, here's what I would do. Bar, bam, same stuff. Okay. Wait. Actually, this won't work the way it sits. Woohoo! Asset name. We have to plus this. Okay. Bam. But let's not have that in there. Let's save. And there we are. It will return every name in the array, which I put an array of names, which you don't have to do, but you know, it's just the thing, right? Okay, and then because of, well, our little doodah thing, we want an array of objects, which, you know, you can always do contains or vice versa. You know, there's all that stuff. Itch my head here, and it's gonna be a hot day again. Scorcher. Turn the old AC on. But yeah, this is the simplest way to load asset bundles that I have found. You could do an async and stuff, but I just want to do a file.load because I figured the first thing that we can tackle is getting it from the stream and asset folder into your game as usable content. Okay, and well, you know, that's what it is, usable content. So what we will do is I will hit start here, and hopefully it works just as planned. Okay, so in our asset bundle, oh wait, it's missing. Oh, because I destroyed it because I unloaded it. So we've got this and this and this. This is all null because of unloading. So if you want stuff from the bundle and you want to keep it around, don't have this function called. Okay. Actually, I should leave it for you guys. Okay. And okay. So basically, we're going unload, and we compiled. Now, since we're doing all this stuff and cool stuff and, you know, whatever, okay, and we have this, we've got the name right here, which that's what I'm using, the get all asset by name, and then we have, you know, basically a string array. That's it. And then we have this game object array. Now this is not getting the references from in here. It's coming from the asset bundle itself. Okay? The asset bundle itself. So when we do new sprite and stuff, well, let's new sprite. It's just a regular sprite. And we've got our spear. Well, it's just a regular spear. Okay, so what can we do? Well, the spear doesn't really have anything on it, so you know what we should do? Just to prove to you this works as intended, I will delete the spear. Just delete it. Doesn't matter. Boom. Oh, gone. Delete it right out of my project. Now let's open it up. Okay, now we go to our puller. See, the spear is still around. Now, in order to use this, we'd have to, do our regular references and stuff like that. But I think this would be useful for you because in our saving code, let's just get off this thing. In our saving code, we could, when we load up something like this, load up our bundle, okay? And, the bundle's not that bad. I mean, yeah, sure, it's allocated memory and stuff, but, like I said, with stuff that we're always going to be using, why do we even care? I mean, we're already loading a prefab into memory, just like normal. So I see no reason why to even mess with anything. And this call I have in an I enumerator because I want the return value. I want it to return from here. See, yield return. I believe if this is null, it will keep going until it's true. But, and you can always do all that while asset is null, boom. But it's just the way it is. You have to have a yield somewhere in the I enumerator, and I got the names and I got the game objects. So you know how to do this little simple script, okay? You know how to get the bundle, which is as simple as this. This asset name is the inspector thing, okay? You just type this in the inspector and asset name. But remember, don't go to the main bundle, okay? That says asset bundles. Go to a bundle that you made, like bullets or characters or something like that, because that's where it's going. Now, you'll probably see this asset bundles tab right here and be like, well, how'd you make that? Very simple script, okay? And it is an editor script, and you have to spell the editor completely correct with a capital E, small d, I, T, O, R. Very important, okay? And I have this asset builder class, C# script, and we're going to open it. Now, this is the script that's just a regular mono behavior and all that stuff. I don't use any of this junk in here. I use it like we did the classes, okay? Which is a public class asset bundle. And then I make a menu item, okay? The menu item attribute for doing this is you have to use a Unity editor, okay? Now, the reason why this namespace is very important is because it's part of the internal stuff for the editor. Now, the thing about this is also is I would like to go and put more stuff on here because this is the Windows one. Okay, and then we will do another one as an example down here, and this will not be the Windows one, but we will copy this function right here. And it's another thing about asset bundles. You cannot when you go to build targets and stuff like that, you can't build for everything. Okay, so you have to build for what target you're going on. Okay, like if you're doing a 64-bit Windows program, you have to build for that specific platform. There's not one bundle for everything because they have different attributes and stuff. Okay, just like some of the file reading for streaming assets is a little different for every platform. You have to modify this a little bit. I just use this as, hey, this is how you can do it. Like I always say, on scripts and stuff like that, there is various other types of things that you can do. Now, this is just a static call. Okay, this is just a static function. It doesn't even matter what it calls. You can put this as food doggy. Doesn't matter. It just wants a function, a thing here because it's a function. Okay, and that is how it works. So to make a menu item, you just push this, and you have your title, which is the thing up here, title, okay, and then the attribute that you want, the function that you want to call it from inside the menu itself. Okay, so what? Really? Why is it all jacked up? It shouldn't be all. What? Oh, okay. The name is twice. I was like, what? I know this works. And these are this, because I've got two methods, static methods that have the same name, so it's complaining about it, which is fine. I mean, it's legit. So my window is going to pop back up. And like I said, in the slash mark, see, we got the non-64 and then the 64. Okay? And you have to build for whatever platform you are. And like if you're doing mobile and stuff, you have to go and, because it's a build pipeline, asset bundles, and then it takes a string. This string right here is where it's going to be built in your project. Okay? Which, yeah, you can put it in the streaming assets and all that stuff, but I just, yeah, I probably could. I should. No. I ain't messing with it because not all the time do I want my asset bundles to be in there. I don't want them to just overwrite whenever they want. And then asset build options. I believe this one is for a compressed or uncompressed. Dot peel chunk, disable write tree, none. Uncompressed uncompressed at, oh man, I cannot speak. Asset bundle. I put none because I don't really think you actually need it. I mean, it's probably pretty simple. And build target is whatever build target you're doing. If you're doing a build target dot iOS, Intel, PS4, Android, there it is. But I'm doing Windows right here, standalone. And, there's the function call that you need to build your bundles. So, like I said, let's say material. Well, this is a material, so it goes into bullets or whatever. Okay, and you'll select it. Okay, and you'll go up here and you'll be like, well, I'm building for the 64 or I'm building for this. Well, I'm building for the 64, the non-64. Bam, there you go. It'll go through all this stuff, and, do its compression and all that cool stuff. And then in the folder, you get asset bundles. Okay, asset bundles. Okay, sweet, cool, right? Well, what I want to do is I'm going to delete all this stuff out of my streaming assets. Bam. Don't want it, don't care, blah, blah, blah. And then I will push it over. Okay, and there you are. Well, and I mean, that's about it. I mean, I think it's pretty simple, guys. And the really cool thing about asset bundles, okay, and I want to emphasize on this, okay. You know how I go in here and I put this in the streaming assets, okay, and we go into our streaming assets. Well, when I build out in our builds and then go to here and go to stream it, it also includes the bundle. If I build the executable, in Unity, it will include it in the streaming assets. It will not just like throw them, like not even have them stuff. But the really great thing about this is, let's say I take this, my whole asset bundle for my build, and I'm like, well, I don't even like it. Let's delete it. Okay. Well, if I wanted to, I can go to a completely different project or go wherever and, well, I'm just saying, you could go to a completely different project. All right, completely different. Go to asset bundle. Well, you know what? We're just going. I really didn't want to delete that. But my point is, since we went into builds, this, okay. It doesn't have to be the stuff that you build. This asset bundle stuff right here, if we go into our XML, okay, and we wanted, let's say, oh, I don't want it in that one. I want it in Notepad. Why don't you open in Notepad? Notepad. Okay. Let's say, for instance, we wanted something from our, like this is our loading code. Okay. Well, we don't want in tower and it be a T3. Well, we can actually make our this T3 a, let's say, B1C5 or whatever. Okay. Well, and then we could have another parameter that's called, not in tower, but another parameter in our XML that goes, instead of in tower, it's called, say, asset. Okay. And then our closing asset. Okay, this won't work because we don't have the attribute for it. Well, since it's an asset, guess what? We can pass probably the object.name right here. And if you remember in our saving, we're using the name of it, and then we're doing a resource.load. We don't actually have to do that. We can take our asset bundle and go, hey, guess what? We can go up here and do a using system dot collections dot generic. Bam. And go down here and go public dictionary be string, and the key be a game object. And what will this be? Asset OBJs. Okay? And because we did it this way, well, guess what? After all this stuff and we do all this cool stuff, we can go for and I equals I dot length, then go dot length, and then we go dash I dot game object dot name. Well, guess what? That gets us the game object dot name for every I. So we'll go asset objs dot add. Okay, and what are we adding? The string name, right? Sounds logical. And the go I dot game object. Bam! Every one of those game objects is now sitting in our dictionary. Simple as that. And, because we do have to have it in an array, we'll just not have this around in memory, right? So we'll go game object go equals, and I believe you put it here, yeah. So we'll be getting rid of this because we don't need this around, and we don't need this. All right. So, okay, right. So now we have a dictionary of the objects. So if we got a singleton for this and everything else, because we do have to keep the asset around, which is fine. I mean, yeah, it's what it is. I mean, there's nothing we could do about it for that part. Well, cool. We have our game objects in a dictionary. Well, this could be all in our loading game objects. So we have our dictionary of this. Let's make sure this is instantiated as asset objs equals new dictionary of game object dot string. Okay, done. Collection of game objects that we can pull from a string. So, and this was part of our class right here. Well, guess what? We can pass or just have it, statically referenced somewhere, and we have a collection of every game object that's in the bundle. So let's say we can go to another project and we just have like a whole project full of nothing but models. Let's say you have your artist and you don't want him messing around with certain things, but you want his artwork. Okay? Well, asset bundles would be perfect for you because all you got to do is pull the asset bundle, which is, small. I mean, these are like what? Stream an asset, this, with the manifest. 62K. I mean, granted, there's nothing there, but that's relatively small for 4 little files. And what they contain, well, they contain our bullet, sprite, and our sprite right here. Our sprite right here is 80 some bit. Well, what's this? If we were using this in resource.load, what would this be? And how can we check that? Builds, back, asset, tower game, art stuff, new sprite prefab. 6K. Okay, 6K and then 1K. Okay, 7K in total, which makes me think the asset bundle is kind of bigger. But what all does the asset bundle have in it? Well, let's find out. Oh, that's right. We don't have that listing again. Well, that's okay. Don't save. And, well, wait. Actually, this will answer my question. Stream an asset. Bullet. Okay, Bullet is 50 some K. A little bigger, but it has a lot of things in it. And it's moddable for people. If people with another Unity editor wanted to make an asset bundle and then build it out to your game, or just like your artist just wants to, let's say you have a file system on a server, you could just stream it to that file from the WW. Okay, and you know, every single time the guy coding comes on, it can get you a new copy and then be like, whoa, he finally fixed that stupid like UV problem where my guy would go headless or something. That's cool, finally. And you could see something come to light. And then I also made you guys a video on using plugins. So check that out, because you could stream like a lot of scripts and stuff like that to people too. Because all you have to do is go into your built project and go into managed and drop the DLL right here. And you know, it could be your own custom DLL, and it'll drop a lot of problem solving scripts, and it'll continue to work for people too. I'll probably do another video on it, but I suggest you check that video out too, because that could save you a lot of headache too. But I think the asset bundles and things like that are, you know, pretty much done. I mean, I don't know what else you could want to know about that one. I went over how to build them, what the issues are with the building. Okay. I went with how you can bring game objects from asset bundles here. Okay. And you could do other stuff. You could do textures and stuff like that. It's not just that. All right. So I just did game objects because that's just one of the hardest things, I think, is just, you know, going, hey, I want to bring a gun model into my game, but I can't do it because of the limitations and trying to go through all this extra code. And this, I think, will be my solution for my game so people can mod. Okay? So, hope this helps you, and thank you very much. I'm going to go get me a drink and stuff, so be cool and take care. Like, hit, subscribe, and you know, support us on Patreon if you can, or not, doesn't matter. It's your thing. But take care, guys, and I hope you have a very great day. And I hope it's not about 90 degrees like it is in here. Sheesh. Peace.